Welcome to Chriso's first man fire. It's very exciting to have you guys here. I have reserved these man fire subjects to be quite dense and more about emotions, certain emotions that men feel. There's just something about a fire, men, rituals, being around a fire. It brings a stillness, a peace, and a realness, a real depth. So the emotion that I want to speak about today is probably one of the most physiologically painful, so it hurts the most, and it's shame. Shame's a really, really strong, powerful emotion. That belief in yourself that there's something wrong with you and that you mightn't fit in whatever this world is. So, I'm not a guru on this sort of stuff, but all I can give you is what I understand about shame and my scenarios. So, shame for me was pretty prevalent in my younger years, and even in my 20s, it was quite prevalent. Shame for me, a scenario that I really that really hits me is how I used to get shamed, which made me feel shame, from school teachers. Unfortunately, I wouldn't say I was one of the easiest children to deal with. I had a lot of unregulated emotion, and I will never forget the feeling I got when a teacher or a principal would look you in the eye and say, "You're not going to be anything when you get older. You just don't know how to listen. You don't know how to take direction. You don't know how to do this. You don't know how to do that." And not hearing that just once, hearing that majority of my childhood and my education starts to send a real belief through your system that you are not good enough to be in the world. And you're not worthy of being successful, or you're not worthy of feeling success, or you're not worthy of being a good son, or you're not worthy of being anything. Shame really hurts, and it's a really horrible feeling. If you've experienced it, you'll know what I'm talking about. So, scenarios like that remind me of how good I am doing and how I am worthy. And shame is just something that's so deep, and that I'll never be able to get rid of it, but I can understand where it comes from when it does pop up. Other scenarios of shame are, I remember a certain time when I was being really difficult. I wasn't doing it on purpose, I just didn't know. And the school teachers and principals rang my parents and were informing them of what I was doing, and I was being mischievous and I was misbehaving and just being, I believe, a typical male at school. to be honest. Just lost in the world, trying to work out where I fit. And I remember a certain time where we were in the kitchen of the house our family was in, and both my mum and dad were there. And this is not a slandering session either for my parents. My parents done an amazing job as parents. And they're both aware of that. Mum, you're aware of that. Dad's definitely aware of it. But it's my perception of how I felt in that moment which caused that shame. And both of my parents were just so frustrated. I could see it in their eyes. They were so angry at me and angry and frustrated, and they probably were having their own troubles in life, I don't know. And I remember them both looking at each other going, we can't deal with this anymore, we're going to send you away, you got to go away to school, we're going to send you away. And I remember when they said that feeling of shame, of abandonment, which will be another emotion I'll talk about, that fear, that real fear, and looking at their faces, and I could see they weren't joking. It was serious, and I questioned my ability to be a human. When you got the two people that look at you, love you, rear you, bring you up, teach you the world, and they're frustrated at you and they say things that they mightn't mean, but that's just what they had in the time, and I don't judge them for that, because it would have been difficult having 4 boys. But the shame I had was so high. I remember I nearly spewed. I was so sick. The feeling of, I'm a horrible son. I am horrible. I am never doing the right thing. I never get any praise. And it snowballed. You know, scenarios like that, and then scenarios like at school. And it even went across into my football years. As a young junior, I was quite a big kid. I grew up quite quickly physically, and I was asked to go and play a couple of years above my age group, because I had obviously had the physical attributes and the capabilities to do so. And I remember this another time of telling my coach, because we played on a Sunday, that I want to play on Saturday with the seniors, because the seniors have asked me to play, and it's a huge honour for me. And I felt so right in this decision. I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm really happy. And the coach on the Thursday night for the under-16s team said to me, well, I don't think you should do it. You know, you got to worry about your team, like it's our success. And I could tell now that it was all about him. It wasn't about the team. And he goes, you can't get hurt on a Saturday. If you're hurt and you rock up on Sunday and you tell me you're tired, that's it. And just sort of threatened me. And I was just so over the moon that I had an opportunity to grow as a player. So I played that Saturday as my first ever game of seniors, and I had a really good time. I kicked a few goals. I got tested by men, pushed around physically, and it was really intimidating, but it was really, really good. And I remember the next day, coming up on a Sunday, I said to the coach when I got there, I'm a little bit sore today. Do you mind if I just sort of play a little bit deeper in the forward line, something that's not so taxing on my body? And his face was he just lit up at me and just got at me, told me off, told me it's not good enough, I'm not a team player, I'm selfish, I'm this and I'm that, and just giving it to me. And I'm a young kid, 14, 15 years of age, and just getting belittled by a person who should be my mentor, and feeling so horrible about that. And the feeling, again, the same feeling, that horrible feeling of nothing I do is good enough. I'm shamed. I feel ashamed that I can't make the right decisions. And then I had, in that same time, that as that man was sharing his opinion with me, another parent slash coach came over, and I thought it was to support me. Little did I know, he was actually a friend's dad. He started to join in on the belittling and telling me that don't play above your age, you're not ready, this and that, and the success is in your junior team and you'll never get anywhere if you do this, and you're not thinking, you got to think about the team. And I just felt so cornered, so shamed for something. I just wanted to try and be the best version of myself. And I'll never forget those times. Those times were so horrible for me because I was just a kid trying to work out where I fit in the world. They're my scenarios with shame, and they're my interpretations of shame. I know there might be other emotions of guilt, abandonment in there, and I will talk about them one day. Shame's a really hard one. Really, really hard one. I've actually never shared this before, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to be brave. I'm going to be brave, and I think most men understand this, but the shame of self-pleasure. I've got a good subject coming up with this one on masturbation and porn, but I used to be so ashamed of, not so much anymore, but so ashamed that I had to self-regulate myself that way, because that's how I taught myself in a house full of men how to self-regulate. And it was really shamey. I remember when you do it, you feel so shameful and guilty, I suppose. And oh man, like being married, been married for 10 years now, and I used to always feel so shameful about those moments that I needed to self-regulate. And I would almost project that shame onto my partner and make her feel like it was her fault I was doing it, when it wasn't her fault at all. It was just a regulation issue I had and still have some days. And ever since I sat down with my wife and I had to talk to her about why I do it, and that it comes with another addiction, which we'll talk about in another subject. And when I did do that, she understood. She didn't judge me. She actually understood. And she goes, I know why you do it. And I sort of, all that shame just instantly dropped away for this scenario of self-pleasure. Just because I was brave enough to bring it up and talk to her about it. It's such a natural thing. Shame's so natural, self-pleasure's so natural. A lot of things we do, our little nuances that we think no one knows about and we're naughty for doing it. Everyone does something. So try not to feel shamed about certain things. And if you do, that's fine. It's so cool. It's cool in its own way. And I hope that, and I trust one day you'll be able to move through it and be able to see that it's not an attack, and it's not shameful to have certain things. But it's very hard. It's a hard emotion. So I just want to say thank you so much for giving me the platform to do this. This isn't easy for me to talk about things like shame. And I hope that somehow my little story triggers something in you to be able to look into something that you might have, that you believe shame, something that you hide, and start to work on, to work with that, not against it, because it's okay. It is a natural human emotion. So thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate it. And I guess the question for this man fire is based around, when have you felt shamed? When have you felt shame? Why do you feel shame? Do you know? I love all of you guys here sharing this with me. I feel like you're a part of my man fire today. And I will leave you with my lovely little cutout that I absolutely adore. Just remember, be patient with yourself, be patient with other people, and be patient with the world. Be patient in life. Trust the process. Thank you so much.